above the law in India is a question people of India are asking. Does our constitution allow special privileges based on your Parivar? Today, when Sonia Gandhi was called in for questioning by the Enforcement Directorate, her party unleashed arg, abuse and arrogance. A protest against the alleged misuse of central agencies was branded Satyagraha 2.0. But these visuals on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, show just how Mahatma Gandhi's form of peaceful protest was completely devastated by what the Congress party did. Burning cars in Bengaluru, which police sources say actually were cars bought from kabadiwalas for 15,000 rupees and set on fire. Accused of rupees 2,000 crore land grab, money laundering and cheating on taxes, the Congress that was protesting against GST wars in Parliament over the last 3 days refused the Parliament to allow to function, but suddenly changed tack and orchestrated violent protests across the country. Sample some of these visuals as we ask, is this Satyagraha? In Bengaluru, workers actually bought this car and set it on fire. And in Hyderabad and in Jaipur, we saw similar scenes. Listen in to what loyalists of the Gandhis said when they were justifying the violence as an outpouring of anger because agencies were being misused. Listen in.
We do not want to have protests like that, but the people are very angry. You know, when you have Nipur Sharma who talks about the Prophet and demeans religion, you know, and the minorities are feeling cornered, they are angry. And, you know, if their leaders, they feel these are the leaders who speak about it in Parliament, you know, they stand by them. And then, you know, they will definitely revolt, they'll rebel.
The common man's problem also is Sonia Gandhi. Congress party is a party that brought freedom to this country. We here today stand and voice for the freedom of the human beings, freedom of individuals, freedom of citizens. And now you're trying to cut down the voice of the freedom of the individuals. So the youngsters are getting angry. They're coming out and burning things.
बीजेपी वाले ऐसी झूठे बातों में माहिर हो गए, तो ऐसे बाता अब उनका ही आदमी होगा ये ऐसे कामों में, क्योंकि कांग्रेस पार्टी को बदनाम करने के लिए ऐसे फालतू कामों। परसों उदयपुर में एक हत्या हुआ था, कौन था वो हिंदू मुसलमानों में कुछ जहर फैलाने के लिए कोशिश किए, वो पकड़ा गया। कौन निकला? भारतीय जनता पार्टी का निकला।
I mean, they should be considering her age as well as her health. And, you know, as I said, she could have been asked questions in her house, wherever they felt, I suppose, I mean, if I use the word that it's you know, they are vindictive, and, you know, I think that in a way I'm talking about the BJP.
Well, the BJP also responded and called this actually not Satyagraha but Duragraha. And that is the tone and tenor of the political confrontation that happened today. Let's go across to the big debate on this so-called misuse of agencies. And I'm joined by Monojit Banerjee, who's joining this debate from the Trinamool Congress. And I want to ask you, Tehseen Poonawala, Monojit Mondal from the Trinamool Congress joining the debate. Tehseen Poonawala, I want to ask you, there were different kinds of arguments that were given. Mr. Ashok Gehlot, Robert Vadra, all of them saying that the Enforcement Directorate should have gone to Sonia Gandhi's house to question her. Why call her out? While I understand on humanitarian grounds, but where was the humanitarian grounds when the Congress party was in power and they summoned Karunanidhi's 78-year-old wife in the 2G scam to question her? Agencies called her and questioned her. But at that time, you didn't think that it was necessary to be polite and have humanitarian considerations for her, but only for Mrs. Sonia Gandhi? It's a question of entitlement that the people are asking.
Thank you for your question. 2 or 3 quick answers. Mr. Karunanidhi and a 2G fake case there was an FIR registered. Can anyone on this panel, especially the BJP member of parliament, show me an FIR against that names Mrs. Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi? Point number one. Point number two, during the Congress tenure, the Supreme Court made observations that the CBI is a cage. Please don't interrupt me. It's very important about Mrs. Gandhi is a caged parrot. Here the Supreme Court in a written judgment said the ED director's tenure will not be extended. Yet the BJP extended this ED director's tenure by suspending 12 members of parliament, including from the Aam Aadmi Party and TMC. Is this not against the Constitution of India? And the BJP rich talking about Satyagraha, those who backstab Mahatma Gandhi, who backstab the Quit India movement, who backstab the Salt Satyagraha, know nothing about Satyagraha. All they know is how to misuse the agencies. I challenge the BJP member of parliament, please present the FIR.
Tehseen Poonawala,
the conviction.
Mr. Tehseen Poonawala, I think, you don't know how the FEMA or the PMLA
I know how FEMA
functions.
works.
May I just
You
inform you
require
that
an FIR. You require
there is
an FIR.
an ECIR which has
That's
been
true.
registered. ECIR is there, which has been filed, and on the basis of that, the ED is conducting an inquiry. If you have a problem with the PMLA law and the way ED is functioning, well, the courts are open and they will be open for miscellaneous matters tomorrow, Friday morning. You can actually go to court and ask that question. So don't. No, but there is an ECIR and FIR is not required for the EDA. The predicate offence, money laundering case is investigated on the basis of an ECIR. So please, well, they're investigating, and that is the reason. Have they convicted you? Has the matter gone and has the conviction happened? Investigation is going on. You have a problem with the investigation.
0.6%.
1 minute, Tehseen, just calm down. Have a glass of cold
water.
Calm. And let me ask Smita Prakash. Smita Prakash, is this a bogey that is picked up by the Congress party? When they say that they should have agencies going to their house and questioning them, where ordinary people can be on the streets, they can pay now today whatever GST and whatever prices because the Congress is busy fighting the ED, and ED should be going to their house. So is this a sense of entitlement?
Navika ji, at the onset,
Can I answer?
I'm getting some odd audio.
It's a bit rich.
Smita.
Yeah. So Navika, it's a little rich to say that that the ED should go to Sonia Gandhi's house to interview. I mean, everybody has gone, witnesses have gone. She has come to cast the vote yesterday. If she could do that, I think she could withstand the questioning. And the ED made it clear that if she is unwell and if she feels that it's a bit much, then she can leave. So today the process went on for close to 3 hours, and it's an investigation. Again, I'm saying she's not been convicted, as you just pointed out. It's an investigation. It's a complicated process. She apparently asked if she could leave after a couple of hours and to take her medicines, and the ED said fine. Now the thing is that the investigation will go on for a couple of days, because that's how the whole process is. You ask the question, that person replies back, it's typed in, then you read it. If there is any mistake, you point out the mistake, that changes are made. So it's a complicated process, and she has her health issues. She's recovering from COVID, so fine. But it's depressing to think about what the Congress did. The fact that because this questioning will go on for a few days, does that mean that every single day that she's questioned, cars will be set on fire, trains will be stopped? I mean, the Congress is literally so divorced from reality on the ground. Could they not see that the people have elected them to bring up issues? What are the issues which are hurting people today? It's price rise and it's unemployment. Everybody knows that. Even the BJP knows that. But you think that the Congress has gone and had, protests and demonstrations across the country or done some padyatras? No. Today the bigwigs, everybody in such a odd manner, they were going and quoting arrests, mass detentions they were doing. They looked really absurd, not at all dignified. If they had sat in their offices and, as Mr. Gehlot was saying, that hum sirf wahan baitkar Raghupati, Raghav, Rajaram, Ishwar, Allah, Tero naam karne wale hain, we are not resorting to arson. That arson is the job of BJP if Modi had been arrested. The fact is that when Modi was questioned or when Shah was questioned, the BJP cadres did not come out. The thing is that Modi was a chief minister. He could have got out the crowds. He was a sitting chief minister. But nothing of that sort happened. Nobody has done it, even when DMK or anybody was brought out. And mind you, this health issue, there are businessmen who have major health issues. They are not spared. For hours together, they have to be questioned. So what is so special about the Gandhi family that this is called a witch hunt? That is what it was called. That it's a witch hunt and it is vindictive and all kinds of weird names. In fact, Ranjan Chaudhary had even called ED as idiot. You can just say anything today. No respect at all for any institution.
Yeah. No institution will be respected. So Akshay Marathe, I want to ask you, if there is a process of investigation, the matter has to be fought in the courts of this country. Why is it on the streets of this country? Why are issues of the people not raised on the streets of the country? Why are issues of the Gandhi family being raised by the Congress party on the streets of this country? By burning and stopping trains.
Navika, I want to tell your viewers, even leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party have been questioned by the ED. CBI has questioned our leaders. They have raided our leaders. They have arrested our leaders. But on every single count, Aam Aadmi Party leaders have gone to the courts and they have been acquitted on almost all of them. There are some cases pending, including the case of our health minister, which we are very confident we will come out of very effectively. At the same time, I do want to point out that of the thousands of cases that the Enforcement Directorate is currently investigating and prosecuting, its conviction rate is a mere 0.6%. What does that tell us? It tells us that these cases are being filed in large numbers and people are being harassed on the behest of the ruling party, but the cases don't reach their fruitful end. They don't reach their logical conclusion in the courts of law. This is a serious question on the BJP I want to ask, and I hope Mr. Narsimha Rao has an answer for us about this. But again, I want to clarify that this does not mean that we have any sympathies with the Congress party today. I want to remind all the viewers of your channel, Navika, that it was the Congress party which amended the PMLA Act and which allowed the Enforcement Directorate the special powers to self-incriminate people during questioning. The Constitution of India protects the citizens of India from self-incrimination. But the Congress party thought it fit that they wanted to introduce the self-incrimination.
The law was amended by the Congress. Narsimha Rao,
can I just finish my point? Just
harassing people based on political... I'm running out of time, Akshay Marathe, and I have to go to Monojit Mandal as well. GVL Narsimha Rao, respond to Akshay Marathe.
Navika ji, first of all, what the Congress party has done today is to put on display sycophancy at one level, Parivar bhakti, Sonia bhakti at one level, and at another level arrogance and hubris, and an attempt to show that we are above every institution. When it comes to the family, they will have the status like a monarchy in India. That is not the case. They must understand they are all political leaders, irrespective of their position. They are at the same level before the law, before institutions. We all have the same equal footing. Like Smita ji mentioned, when Prime Minister Modi ji was Chief Minister of Gujarat, he was questioned for 9 hours by the CBI. He did not even seek a cup of tea. He did not even accept it. He said, no, I want no favors. I want to take nothing. And he answered all the questions that were asked of him. He never showed that I am a chief minister. I will come back at my convenience. No excuses made. As a chief minister, he certainly had certain rights.
Monojit Mandal, I have very little time left. I'm sorry about that. But I want to ask you, divided with the opposition on presidential, vice presidential elections, but united on agency issues. Is that the only matter which brings the opposition together?
It is obvious. The reason is obvious. The ED, CBI have actually become BJP Bureau of Investigation. Enforced destruction or dictatorship, that's ED for you. Compromise Bureau of Investigation, that's CBI for you. While lies the question of, interrogating Hemant Biswa Sharma, Shubhendu Adhikari, Yedirappa. Are they all heaven's cherubims? They're just dropping like naked newborn babes. If you want to quote Shakespeare, they're dropping from heavens. What are we talking about? It's obvious. Once they switch sides or they are from BJP, nothing happens. And look at how you harassed our General Secretary, Abhishek Banerjee. Not just Abhishek Banerjee, his family. His wife with 9 months old baby, she was asked to come to Delhi during the raging pandemic. That's what ED is all about. And ultimately it happens that ED lost the case and they have to come to Kolkata now. That's why I think this is all for you to see. It's obvious it's happening. Only the opposition is being targeted. And I tell you, this will continue till 2024 because this is an election issue for them. No FIR. You don't need anything if they don't have an FIR.
Issue that unites the opposition versus the BJP when it comes to investigation agencies? It's a question many people are asking, and that's where we leave the matters because this questioning likely to go on again. We'll have to wait and watch if the Congress party decides once again to descend on the streets to create arson to prove their loyalty test. Thank you very much to my panelists and thank you viewers for joining me on the Newshour tonight. Good night. Take care.